What's going on, YouTube world? Welcome back to a little bit, man. Gaming, bringing you a late because I had some technical difficulties with the camera. Review for the money for Friday night Smackdown. Now it's gonna be short and simple because I just got done watching the Royal Rumble, and so I'm not gonna make this the usual long video I usually make it. So it's gonna be maybe I'll say roughly 10 minutes. So with that being said, quickly, since I said go roughly 10 minutes, if y'all could hit that like, subscribe, share, and the notification button, and leave a comment, greatly appreciated. It helps the YouTube channel grow, helps me grow as a YouTuber, and we're trying to get to 100 subscribers. With that being said, let's do this unusual but quick review so I can give you the real meaty review for the Royal Rumble. You know, I'm telling you. Let's get to SmackDown. Alright. So, first thing on the docket that we had for SmackDown was it was an unusual and a welcome change. Was that Daniel Bryan opened SmackDown, basically, right? He opened SmackDown, and it was unusual. Like I said, it was unusual but welcome change because for the past past months since Roman's return, he's been the one opening SmackDown. Now, for the first time, Daniel or anybody was the person opening SmackDown, right? You know, or it has or it didn't have nothing to do with Roman Reigns entirely. But yeah, Daniel Bryan opened SmackDown talking about how he's gonna win the Royal Rumble and that he's gonna he wants to win the Royal Rumble because his career is winding down and he don't know how many more Royal Rumbles and WrestleManias he got left. But he's basically in his wind down phase of the career, so he wants to win. He wants to do the one thing he haven't done in his storybook career, which that is win the Royal Rumble. But then he gets interrupted by Raw's AJ Styles and almost his AJ Styles bodyguard. And of course, I guess it's one of the quarterly, invitation on where a superstar can come over from Raw and challenge a SmackDown superstar and vice versa. I think Monday they probably gonna have some SmackDown superstars, but yeah. So then AJ, in the row saying that he's gonna win the Royal Rumble and blah 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 this and blah 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 that, and then he berates Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan ends up challenging him to a match later on in the night. Now we're moving on to the first match of the night, which was Bianca Belair versus Bayley, and that was a decent match set up from when they had that greatest obstacle course challenge they did with each other, and after Bayley basically jumped and beat up Bianca Belair, they had this match to finally settle their differences. And of course, Bianca wins. And it was, like I said, it was a decent match. It was an okay match. I expected Bianca to win because I expect big things from Bianca. Then we had a backstage promo with Biggie and the Miz, which in comparison, in hindsight, it was just basically them trash talking each other until it broke down to a brawl. Nothing really to spend much time on there. Then we had Dominic Mysterio versus King Corbin, and it was a good outing for Dominic. It was his first match in a minute, so he probably was getting his little training in still, since he's still getting his bearings with the WWE being a wrestler. But yeah, it was like his first match in a while. He had it against Baron Corbin, and sorry about that. But yeah, it was his first match in a while, and it ended in the typical fashion, which I knew it was going to end with Baron Corbin getting the win over Dominic, and I wish they would have let Dominic get the win to make me care about the story, but Baron Corbin getting the win made the story even more not careable. Now, like, they need to do something unique and more with Dominic Mysterio. So that was like a little sore spot for me for that. You got you got a backstage promo with Sasha Banks. Basically, I think she was like trying to seduce Reginald, but she ended up talking about she was just wanting his wine expertise or something like that. It was for the first time in a long time. It was a pretty bland promo that I really didn't care about. And honestly, I wanted to, but after they match, it was what else was needed to set between her and Reginald. It is what it is. Then we got another backstage promo with Shinsuke basically trying to, not Shinsuke, with Shinsuke and Sami Zayn. I guess Sami was trying to instigate and try to start stuff with Shinsuke Nakamura, and Sami Zayn ended up getting humiliated. I'm kind of curious where they're trying to go with Sami Zayn and this whole conspiracy. Oh, yeah. I did it twice. I was getting sleepy. But, like this whole conspiracy with Sami Zayn and the fact that he's saying that there's a conspiracy that people don't want him as Intercontinental Champion. But like I said, Shinsuke ends up humiliating, all right? And like I said, another bland promo that I really didn't care about. Let's see what else we got. We got AJ Styles. We had AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. No, you know what? First, I want to ask you. Yeah, it was actually a promo from. I almost forgot. It was a promo from Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. Now that was one of the best. That was the best promo of that night. Was Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens with Kevin and Kevin and Roman just basically giving their they was giving their like basically sides of why they will win the match at the Royal Rumble, and that Kevin Owens, saying that he's basically he got true family on his side, and that he wrestles and stuff for his family, for his father or grandfather, and Roman was basically saying that he. Three times now that was a yarn. So he basically was saying that, Roman was saying that, being the badass he is, basically just saying I'm the head of the table and that you need to acknowledge me as your, tribal chief. But Kevin Owens was basically going and telling him, hey, I am who I am, and I like who I am, and that I know my fathers and grandfathers will be proud of me. But that's where Roman cut deep and said that he still doesn't get it, Paul. And that he told him that maybe when you see your father and grandfather again, they're going to tell you how much a disgrace you are because you wouldn't acknowledge him as your tribe, as the head of the table, as your head of the table, as your tribal chief, because we have. Which pissed Kevin off. Then Kevin went on a nice little tirade on Roman, where he basically said, "Hey, I know who I am because I look at myself in the mirror. I know who I am. When you look at yourself, you're just glorified mafia boss kind of person who have this fake yes man's body just to make you feel bad about yourself. Blah blah blah." And then Roman, he gets a little flustered, and then he has Paul for a remote to turn off his TV while Kevin was giving his nice little passionate promo. But then Kevin angry that Roman just cut himself off, couldn't really stick with it no more, so he just said he just take the earpiece off and he walks off. Now we got the Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles match. Now the thing about this match, I was actually kind of looking forward to it, but what they did was it went from AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan to a 6-man tag match. Because I think eventually, like I think Otis and Miz and Morrison got involved. So it was like Miz Morrison and AJ versus Otis, Daniel Bryan, and it was somebody else. I can't remember. I couldn't remember who else joined the match. Oh, and Big E. That's what it was. It was Big E, and then it was again. And then people just kept coming in, and then it went from a 6-man tag to a 5-man tag. And I think it was like you had like Sheamus and the returning Braun Strowman, and it was just chaotic. It was basically their way of trying to have their chaotic usual Rumble thing, right? So I think I forgot who even won. It was so chaotic, and I didn't really care for it. I think Sheamus was on Daniel Bryan's team, and they ended up winning because I think Cesaro got involved, and all them. It was like Cesaro, Braun, Sheamus, and some more people got involved, and it just chaotic. We didn't even get the AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan match. It just kept turning from them two to a 6-man to a 10-man. It was just chaotic. It was awful. So in all, if what I have to grade SmackDown, I would give SmackDown I give SmackDown a 6.5 big ups out of 10, just because it was an okay go home show for SmackDown, but it didn't try to build up SmackDown side of the storyline enough for me to say that I could care for anything that happens for SmackDown. Like I said, I care for the Bianca match, Bianca versus Bayley. I did like the beginning promo with Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. I did like the Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens promo, but everything else was just like I really didn't care for. Like I didn't care for Dominic versus King Corbin. I didn't care too much for the promo for Big E and the Miz and Morrison. I didn't even care for the AJ Styles versus. I care for the AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan match up to the point where it kept turning. It went from a 6-man tag. It went from a singles to a 6-man tag to a 10-man tag. So it was like it made a match I was looking forward to for that particular episode turn into a match I wasn't looking forward to because it was chaotic, and it really made me ask the question why. If it hadn't made me ask why would you even do this, what would make you think people wanted to see this, I pretty much didn't care. And then at that point, that's why I give it what I give it. But that's my review for SmackDown. Like I said, it was going to be a long one. So as you hit that like, subscribe, share, and the notification button, and leave a comment, do all those great things, I greatly appreciate it. Help me get to 100 subscribers so I can set a new goal. And see you in a couple of minutes for the Royal Rumble review.